Okay, and that silence is the beginning of the stream with OCC Recap Season 26, Week 1. We are live. Yes. 9 viewers as well. Oh, yeah, sorry. I just read Giraffe's question. Oh, sorry. With me is Danton, as usual. Say hello, Danton.
Hello, how's it going?
Galentio, say hello.
Hello.
Spydyr, say hello.
Hello.
And a special guest this week, Giraffe. Hello, Giraffe.
Hello.
And Carmack was almost here as well, but he's typing in chat instead, along with possibly other people. Okay, so we're going to start with Division 2A, because that's Ethelred's division. We'll go through it quickly because he's not here. And then we'll get on to our division, my division, and Giraffes and Galentios. And then the other Tier 1 and the champs. So the first game of the week will be Beauty and the Leap versus Voodoo Oceania. Rasmos Kislev against James Cook's Elven Union. James Cook does a bunch of graphical stuff for the league as well, so you'll see him posting in the OCC Discord sometimes.
So maybe just explain for Giraffe's benefit that we do kind of do betting on the weekly games.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned it in fact, and there's a channel.
I've seen a little bit of the reviews, so I'm a little bit familiar, although I've never partaken. So, dipping toe in water first.
Yeah, cool. So Ratmos, 15-20 Kislev, 11 players. Movement up catcher, Mighty Blow first blitzer.
Mighty Blow first.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go killy, I've said this before,
you
should go piling on first. So they got jump up, so you can, piling on's better than Mighty Blow.
You'll just get stomped on because you're gonna give up. You're giving up inducements to anything you see, right? Because Kislev are just like that.
I mean, the Mighty Blow first is to try and just speed up the progression,
the development
well,
of
rock,
that
I
player.
suppose, yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a huge fan, but I mean, I can understand why he did it.
Kislev are just pain.
Yeah, I would choose block first, really.
There seems to be a lot of masochist people on OCC with the amount of Kislev teams.
I mean, Kislev are fun, right? And it's sad that Games Workshop don't want them to exist anymore.
I don't necessarily mind the Mighty Blow on one blitzer. I probably would have done it on the second one, but I definitely wouldn't do it on both. And his next skill obviously should be block. But I don't mind doing it on one of them.
What do you do with it?
Oh, you just
his blocks are mostly just protective on the catchers, right? And then the blitzers.
Yeah.
That's not your ball hawk. That's just the person randomly blitzing.
Yeah, he's going to be blitzing on every turn that you're not actually trying to dive into a cage.
Go for the ball. Yep.
I mean, normally
your removal piece.
On Kislev, the linemen are often this kind of sack pieces because they're getting wrestled. And the blitzers are more support pieces, but you can build one as your killer just for the random, blitz every turn when you don't have a really clear objective to the ball or something like that.
I thought the standard build was also the guard carriage, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they actually have access to guard as opposed to the catcher, which nicely actually rolled a double, but not usually guaranteed. Oh, he has another one. He has another lineman guard. That's not bad actually. Very convenient.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the guard route is. I mean, you can't just go kind of block dodge on them and then kind of see from there. You could take guard stand firm. It just takes a while to get there.
Mhm. And good luck surviving until then because you have no adaptive skills. Do anything.
Well, OCC is mostly long game kind of thing.
Yeah. To survive.
Me taking movements on a blitzer 3 seasons ago is turning out to be one of my best players now.
Oh, really?
Because it's Sage 4 movement 8 now, so it's just an elf with guard.
and leap?
No, it's a human.
No, it's on
Oh,
a
it's
human
human.
team.
Oh,
I'm
that's
the boring one.
much more
Me
disappointing.
and Danton.
Cornite, show us the Pro Elf team.
Cool. James Cook's Voodoo Oceania. They are currently at 1,400, but that's 7
But
players.
missing people.
Yeah. So 4 more Pro Elves. So that's another 240.
1680
So 1640.
or
Oh
1640.
wow! So the Kislev are not giving up inducements.
No.
That's unusual.
Nope.
And the Pro Elves have all their skills on a thrower, alignment, and the 2 blitzers, and a strength up
Oh,
catcher.
that's a sad team.
Yeah, like you got 200k of thrower and not very much of catcher.
It's a beat up team, but at the same time, I mean, he's going to take his 4 loners and mark up, put them on the line of scrimmage, mark up the key players, and the players. It's a rule of 5 team, literally, and it's a very good looking rule of 5
still
team.
got a decent core, right?
Yeah, and they can. Those 5 players can pull off the elf stuff that he needs to pull off to keep him in games.
And then he basically needs to
Strength.
level up those 2 rookie catchers as soon
Yeah.
as possible.
Only
Absolutely.
2 rerolls also for
How
the
much
Pro Elves.
Huh. I mean, what do you need it for, right? You have your catch, you have your... Yeah, I guess you don't have throw, but pass. But that's
Well, in
about
this
it.
case, yeah, he's not going to re-roll any of the 4 loner pieces that he's playing. It's
Yeah.
going to be the key pieces where he needs to make the go for it or whatever, where he doesn't have that built-in team re-roll. Only 1 tackle and only 1 wrestle on the Kislev, and that's the same piece. So Kislev may
No
have a
guard,
hard
though.
time taking him down.
No guard though, so Kislev, like the regular Kislev bullshit is very much on. You can leap into any cage. You're gonna need to double screen or try to make leaping difficult.
He can carry on the strength 4 catcher though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's no
Just
question.
The
there.
Kislev won't have
strength 4 blodge.
Yeah, and the Kislev won't have a hard time getting hits on normal hits because of the guard, and they're going to
And
get
these
the hits,
Pro
but
Elves
they've
Asian also.
yeah.
And don't forget, Kislev also have like the bear with the chain and the diving tackle to kind of keep the pros in place a little bit, or change the order at which they dodge away at least.
Yeah, at least
So
change the order.
Kislev do get a little bit of inducements, right?
Yes.
Do they have enough for a wizard, or are they gonna have to content themselves with
120?
They'll get 120.
So
they can do it.
And
They
he's
can
got
scam
60k,
wizard.
so he could throw 30 in.
Yeah. He could scum it.
Oh, that's worth it. I think.
Ratamo will for sure scam.
Ratamo, I think he's quite an aggressive coach, so yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
He's a
I mean, you have that
coach
strength
that
4
will
ball
scam.
carrier. Getting that down would be lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Strength
Yeah,
4 blodge.
he could go with that wizard. It's possible.
Okay, so who's going to win?
I'm betting Ratamo.
Actually, give me a second, and I'll go pull up the betting. And
Yeah, you had already gone for James Cook, Spydyr, same as me.
Yep, going for James Cook was myself, Danton, and oops, I accidentally get the wrong thing. Ethelred, yep, and then 3 people went for a draw,
which was me and Dreamland and Nibbenen. But I didn't really look at this very much. And I was, I'm umming and ahhing about changing my mind. I think I'll stick with the draw.
And then
We'll go elves if I were betting.
The elves was Braculi, Radamo, Galentio, and Giraffe.
Just want to say that Blood Bowl is a gateway to gambling, and this is
Gateway.
It's a gateway drug.
I've been here for ages. Don't know what you're talking about.
Just not taking it seriously.
I mean, for me, it's a gateway out of poker, so
It's a step down. It's the coming down drug.
Yeah, exactly.
At least less expensive.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say less frustrating, but certainly less expensive.
Well, if you play tabletop, could be more expensive.
Is it really? Oh yeah, if you need to get the teams.
Get all the teams.
Yeah, end up buying your tower of plastic.
I definitely don't have a big cabinet of plastic, which can be seen in one of the channels in the Discord we're in. Anyway, okay. Yeah.
Next is Palladius and Ethelred.
So obviously I picked Palladius without any thought to any
Same.
other options.
I think Ethelred's team is in a much better state from what I saw, but it is Ethelred.
And this is a mirror match, it should be known.
Well, mirror-ish. There's less Dark Elves on Palladius' team.
Palladius is more balanced team, if you look at it. The skills are more spread.
But yeah.
He is missing 2 blitzers, though, for this match, which is going to be huge.
That's going to be a lot of inducements. I'm smelling a Roxanne.
And Strip missing as well.
3 loners.
I don't know.
So 2
10s.
So
As a wrestle player. Okay.
Yeah. I
What do you guys
wouldn't
think
choose
about
Roxanne
wrestle as the second skill on the @5 player?
Yeah, because
Is that the ball guy?
maybe
Is
he's
that
gonna
the ball guy then?
No, he's a sacker, isn't he? That's what the wrestle's for, isn't he?
Yeah. Sorry, the ball guy being ball hawk, not ball player.
He's got 2 runners, so I'm assuming that they handle the ball in some way, shape, or form, because otherwise they're kind of superfluous, right?
Yeah.
Although one of them is his only guard.
Yeah.
What kind of
so he probably carries on the other.
He is getting 370 in inducements.
So that's 370?
Considering that team.
So that's what is that? A wizard and hubris?
Could be Eldril.
Yeah, could be Eldril.
That's the thing with Dark Elf coaches. They are always trying to change the meta somehow. Double runner, double assassin, or I don't know.
Well, that's because Dark Elf teams are kind of boring if you're playing them like totally optimally, right? They're just like blodge everything.
Roll some stats.
Blodge step, AV8.
Yep. Yeah, what is the record for Palladius' team?
I think he's blown up the league, right? He's
15, 1 and 2.
Jesus.
That's pretty good.
Remarkable.
I think Ethelred's team is probably a little bit better skill wise.
I mean, it's. But, I mean, like if you've got 300 TV of bigger team, it would be hard not to, right?
Not to be right, yeah.
Yes,
just based on record, because I've never seen Palladius play. I'm assuming that Palladius is probably a little more stronger coach than Ethel is.
He has an average of 2 touchdowns per game.
And getting that much in inducements and guessing that he's going to take the wizard and probably a star, I think he would be probably at least favored to get a draw, if not favored to get the win.
Yeah, I think Palladius used to play in UK BBL as well, so he's been around for a while. Possibly, was it OCC BB1 or something like that? He's been playing Blood Bowl for a long time, if not lots of games,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've gone for Palladius. In fact, lots of people have gone for Palladius. Only Ethelred has gone for Ethelred.
I literally just
It's good
just
to be
changed
confident.
my bet. I just changed my bet. I was the only one who'd gone for Ethel, apart from him, just based on the teams. But now, I'm thinking it's going the other way.
I did go for a draw, and I want to change it, but in the event of not going with the crowd and with everybody else, I'll stay as a draw.
Yeah, I mean a draw is pretty likely, right? Even Ethelred winning is possible. All right, next one. Kung Fu Fighters against Couronne Croissants.
Yes.
So both of them are food related.
Leffe and
Kung Fu Fighters.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's Kung Fu Fighters.
Yeah, the
Leffe
Leffe one is just a bunch of puns with the wrestler names and food at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I find it hard. I find it hard to create a Bretonnian team without some sort of food reference. But humans is a bit easier.
Nice. The Bretonnian team is very French. Only French names.
Yeah.
Jesus.
French food. It just it's easy.
Ho ho ho. And stuff.
Solid team.
Sorry, I'm flipping between them now. Sorry.
Team.
Yeah, Leffe. He's a good coach as well, right?
Yeah. I played against him. Yeah. He's a good coach.
I would rather a little bit more guard than Mighty Blow, but still, obviously, it's good.
Yeah, I think the 5th Blitzer, the one that has Mighty Blow only, I might have went guard on him instead of Mighty Blow, since you already had the other 2 Mighty Blow.
Yeah.
Still more
And
guard
one
than
of
me.
those is already a killer.
Oh,
Full
and
banger mode.
don't forget about the Natty that Leffy has.
Yes, he does have a natty. He's also got 5 total guard
Is
and a
that-
block ogre.
ah. That's a
Block
It is
really
an
nice team.
It is an Edge 3 natty though.
Says
Let's not
Danton
talk about
pulling
ogres
pulling
and
rank
stealing
on his.
play.
Exactly. He's not as good as Brian.
He does have Dauntless though, so maybe he can.
He's actually not a natty. He's a 1-push natty.
Yeah, you're right. No sprint. Sorry.
No sprint.
Oh,
No
sure.
sprint? Okay,
that's
is that sure
oh,
feet?
that's actually
Yeah,
That's
feet,
sure
right?
feet.
Okay.
Yep.
I
And
mean,
he's no
it's gonna be an addy if he
sidestep.
doesn't die.
No sidestep, so that makes the 1-push just a little bit more
Needs to be
precarious to
two
do.
blocks.
I mean, it's not exactly hard, is it? But So
I mean, but
sidestep does make it easier. Yeah.
Depends
It
on how
is
much
what
stand firm your opponents have.
yeah. What it is interesting though as a piece is that it's a sort of piece that can really threaten the backfield, right?
Yes,
as
absolutely.
a kind of a if the other team has a deep ball carrier.
Well, I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's obviously what he was originally built for, right? Wrestle and Dauntless. He's supposed to be a sacker who accidentally rolled a lot of speed at some point.
Yeah, it's the kind of team that if you don't stabilize quickly, movement 12 catcher will just dauntless your ball.
Yeah. As Carmack said, though, he is no fecker.
He's no fecker.
He is no fecker.
Who's Fecker?
It is season 26, week 1, right?
You'll see fecker here in just a little bit when we get to the next division.
I look
next year.
forward to it.
Yeah.
He's the fecking best.
Well, you'll see him when we get to champs. Yeah.
Yeah, champs. All right, and they're playing against Kia's Bretts,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, interesting.
who. Oh no, they are all French foods.
And the humans are going to be getting 210. It looks like.
Or 200 if Kia.
If he drops 10K, yeah.
14
Still, it's enough.
players.
It's enough for the wizard with that catcher, which is really nice.
I'm sensing the kind of Bretonian team that fouls a lot with the amount of players.
Yeah, he's getting his hits with all the mighty blow, and whatever he doesn't take off that's still laying on the ground, he's fouling.
Yeah, Kia is a serious fouling coach. When we played, he basically got half his team sent off because even when he'd lost players, he carried on fouling, type thing.
Oof, man, this is going to be a really fun game to watch, actually.
But he does play really well with his blitzers, and he's all the blodge step and the diving tackle can be a real pain in the butt.
He's got 5 dodgers.
Mighty blow and guard on a Bretonian lineman is not something you see every day.
No, 5 mighty blow, 6 guard. He can go toe to toe with the, especially with the 4 dauntless pieces, and he can go toe to toe even against that ogre. That's going to be a really solid game. I have a feeling that's going to be a fun one to watch.
It all depends on the removals, I think.
I mean, the betting is.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say the betting is reasonably even already. I think actually someone changed their bet just now because it was you went for changed to a draw, right?
Yeah, I was at a draw first, but then I changed to Leffe, but then I changed back to a draw.
Yep.
So right now, 3 have went for
2.
Kai.
2. Oh, sorry, 3. No,
yeah. 3 for the draw. That's Broccoli, Ethelred, and Dreamland. 2 went for Kai, and that's Danton and Gruff. Sorry, 3 went for.
Yeah, 3 went for Kia Seed.
For Kia, right. 2
Ethelred,
went for
Broccoli and Dreamland.
2 went for Leffe, and then 6 went for the draw, and that was
5.
Ratomo, Corn Knight, Galentio, Nibbinen, and myself.
Yeah. I actually think Leffe's a better coach than Kia. I don't think Kia would be offended if I said that. But that team's kind of a bit frightening. And he does play that Brett team really well. I think he's playing something differently in one of the other leagues. Anyway.
It could come down to if the wizard succeeds or fails. Because if he succeeds, it's probably going to be in a spot where the catcher can swoop in and get it, and they steal a touchdown. But if he fails, then it could change the whole outcome of the game.
Actually, I'm changing my bet to Leffe.
After that.
After that, yeah, the Wizards going to give it to Leffe, I think.
Yeah, I think the Wizards going to give him the draw, though. I don't think it's going to give him the win. That's why I went back to the draw.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've flip-flopped. All right, so next is Sea Perverts, Give Me Baby One More Time versus a name I can't pronounce. Red Riding Hood.
Stilfuin?
Yeah, I don't know.
Stilfuin. He's Italian.
Yeah, he's Italian. Another 2 teams I played against also.
So it's Undead against Wood Elves.
Yeah.
And the Undead are at home.
And these Wood Elves like to score really quickly. Like, escape and score.
Both teams get free bribes. This is going to be fun. And the Undead has 2 dirty players, so I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of fouling going on against the Wood Elves.
I'm guessing they're going to have a lot of inducements as well, right? So they're 1360 with 11 players?
Yeah,
11 players. Yep.
It's the kind of game, if the Wood Elf team doesn't die, they are really favorites to win.
And the Wood Elves are going to
No
be
tackle.
short players too. So
Yeah,
the
no
Wood
tackle
Elves are going to have
on
two loners.
Yeah.
So another
Tackle strip
140.
would have been lovely, but didn't happen. Is sitting out for the game.
Was that the armor bust one as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just
Which we're
gone.
discussing if he should fire or not already.
I mean, when you don't have any tackle at all, I can see holding on to things. But
460 in inducements for the Undead.
This team used to be the Undead team used to be a lot better.
This looks like it's taking a beating, and it's not. Like it's trying to get back to its former glory.
It's like they died again.
Yeah, well, I mean, Giraffe, you play Undead in the OCC, and I'm sure you've found that the higher you go in the tiers, kind of the tougher it gets for Undead to kind of keep a nice team going.
For sure, yeah, I totally empathize here. And I'm lucky in that my team is maybe not super special, but looks much healthier than this one right now.
We all know the Dreamland struggle with his Nurgle also.
But yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But things
he
just
does have
you just get a little claw.
He does have a really nice mummy though.
Yeah, 2 mummy. Yeah, a Blodge mummy and a Block.
That Blodge guard mummy is nice. But yeah, I think he's gonna really struggle against the Wood Elves. And the Wood Elves even have a tree, even giving up 460 in inducements.
I mean, what do Undead get with 460 against Woodies?
I mean, a bribe for sure. Oh no, there's already free bribes.
They get
it's already a free bribe.
More players,
Yeah.
surely.
What are the Woodies carrying on? You probably get a wizard, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Sorry, yeah.
He's got an edge boosted thrower, sure hands thrower.
Mm-hmm.
You could go Setek and wizard.
Set would be nice, yeah. But the break tackle would be nice with Set. But yeah, the Wood Elves are carrying on a sure hands player, so.
But I mean, you can still use the wizard to get the ball off the sure hands, and then have Sedek to kind of chase it down if it goes to someone else.
The trouble is, it's Woodies, right? So they don't really stand around waiting for you to get near the ball.
No.
Well, yeah, but you need to basically pressure them so that Galentio said that Stilfuin likes to score quickly anyway, but yeah, that's basically what you want as Undead, right? You want them to score in 2 turns and then just keep the ball for the rest of the match.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe actually Ramtut might be a better idea just for the extra mighty blow.
But then I don't think you can do Ramtut and Wizard.
Also,
which is sacrificing a lot.
You're kind of forgetting that there is a war dancer with triple and there's no sure hands on the Undead.
Yep.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters what the Undead coach takes. I don't think he's got a chance. I think the only way he has any kind of a chance is if he just
Chiral injuries.
Dices the Wood Elves.
Yeah, like 3 removals.
Even if he gets a lot of injuries, if the catcher stays on, one of the war dancers stays on, and the thrower stays on, that's all the Wood Elves need. They're going to score at will with that.
And the tree is gonna be annoying.
I mean, he doesn't just need injuries; he needs injuries on blodge players when he doesn't have any tackle.
Yeah.
So
It's just he's got no tools.
Yeah, it's
That's
just going to
really
be a really
depressing.
tough match.
But Cornite, you're the one who always says just roll powers.
Yep, no,
That's right.
he's going to need to roll a lot of
Pows aren't
pows.
enough. He's got to do Pows, Kaz. He's got to.
whoops.
Like,
He's got to do pows and
the whole thing.
9s and 10s as well. But you know,
Yeah.
Powers and a lot of stamping.
Oh, maybe this is time to get more dirty player zombies with inducements.
Yeah, he could and take another bribe.
He
Pay
has
2
two.
bribes.
You think he needs more than one?
Yeah. Well, just he has 2, but he's only got 11 players, right? So.
Oh, it has a maybe.
And
I
get
think
an
another
extra
bribe
bribe
doesn't
as well.
hurt. Yeah.
Yeah,
that works,
basically, he's gonna have
I don't
to.
think
Alright.
any player is gonna plug the hole that he has with a lack of tackle.
Well, I played
Sure
against
is.
these wood elves, and me even with 2 tackle, it was hell getting elves on the floor.
Yeah.
It's all blodge almost. Only the tree needs blodge at this point almost. So yeah, it's not funny if you don't roll pulse.
So yeah, I think most people have gone for the elves.
Yeah.
But you know, it's. I mean, I like playing undead. I like the matchup from the undead side normally, but you normally you know as undead, ideally you have at least one good white that's kind of built as a killer that really
Yeah.
kind of does help to swing it, which
To
is
manage
missing.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
So two people went with the undead, and that was
So
ethelred
I
and
just want to say
Dreamland.
I actually went with undead, but I changed my mind after we looked at the teams.
Gotcha. 2 people went with the draw. That was Nibbinin and Corn Knight. So you switched to a draw, and then everybody else went with the woodies. That's Gruff, Galentio, Danton, myself, Braculi, and Rotamo.
Okay.
I mean, Giraffe, if you're not actually participating in betting, feel free to tell us who you would bet for. Anyway.
Bidding, yeah, emotionally, but I just don't. I haven't figured out how to actually do it, and I would figure out after the stream. But yeah, I think I'm on the bandwagon here that the Wood Elves are just gonna run away with it.
Yeah. Okay, last game: the Wolverine Fielders versus the Average Pros. The Wolverine Fielders are
Duckwing.
okay.
Norse.
This is the obscene Norse team, right?
Yeah, against the really beat the crap pro elf team.
Yeah.
I mean, you say.
Oh wait, I haven't seen this.
This is basically the Norse team that Cornite wish he was coaching right now.
I've seen Cornite's team. I have thoughts about his team, but
That's
yeah,
a
what
lot
does
of
this look like?
players. Jesus.
This Norse
Oh
team
my
is really
goodness.
nice. Yeah.
Has a lot of strengths. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Is that strength
nice.
5 Berserker?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, with piling
On
on.
Berserker. Jesus. All right.
It's a bit floaty, but
That's a team.
I'm not so sure about the AV6 thrower, or the. There's a couple of other things where I'm like, I wouldn't.
double thrower on the Norse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Runner,
Maybe
though.
he's the sort of coach that he has kind of like the Valhalla type of mindset where they're gonna die on the pitch.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're waiting for the Valkyries to come to carry them home.
And 4 rerolls on a team that has block on every single player.
Yeah, that's the one thing I
That's a
don't
bit much.
understand.
But we actually, when we looked at the teams, I think we commented on that, and I can understand it from a greed perspective, right? If he's the kind of coach who just wants to go all in, try and
Turf
remove
everything?
the other,
Yeah.
just try and remove everything, then he could be using those extra rerolls to greed some hits.
He could, but even at 3 rerolls, that's enough. With all blanket block, I mean, you can greed 2 out of 3 rerolls.
Oh, no,
Does
for
he
sure.
dodge
It's
a
not.
lot?
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's,
Hey, Gruff,
it's
how you
not
doing?
what I would do, but I can understand it.
Yeah, I can definitely understand it. The real big thing of this team is all the strength. And the Yeti's nice as well, having block, but
yeah. And the strength, I mean, strength, especially on a Norse team, is really, it adds a lot just because of the frenzy.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot safer with
And
your...
jug. That's a really nice Yeti. That's block and jugs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Surprised
Yep,
not.
that
Surprised
is
he's not
an
taken
active
Stand Firm. You'd think one of those might be. Well, maybe not.
This team can one turn. This team can reasonably one turn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the runner, yes.
With the frenzy, yes.
That's pretty fun, yeah.
It would take some
With all
planning,
the
but
frenzy,
definitely
yeah.
could.
I mean, if you're in a situation where you got to do it.
I think
That's,
people underestimate Norse one turning, but yeah, with like I actually played my game today, and it was quite easy for me to get the pushes I needed with the frenzy and still have the blitz to blitz through the back line if I didn't fail getting the ball to the player in the first place.
I have one turned with the Norse team.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean this is.
I will never build a team like this.
I think this team is definitely one to keep an eye on.
Did you say you'd never build a team like this, Galentio?
Yeah, it's way too bloaty. Jesus. 4 rerolls.
Oh, but it's so fun.
But you're in.
I can imagine just enjoying this team.
I play Blood Bowl to win.
There are ways to win.
But you're in a league,
more
right?
entertaining.
Being bloaty in a league is actually generally pretty good because inducements are generally bad. It's not like CCL where you're matching by TV, right?
Depends on the racial matchups, but I mean a team like this, especially by bloating up, gives him a lot of options. Like he can foul as well.
You can get like 5 players removed and still have a team, more or less.
I ran a Norse team once that was just the 2 Ulfs, the 2 Berserkers, and then all linemen, and ran 16 on my roster. And that's all I did was I fouled every single turn.
Yeah, I mean
and
he doesn't have
actually did very well with him.
Yeah, that's all he's missing is a dirty player.
Yeah, he's taken or it had dirty players and they died because that happens.
Yeah, but he has 2 linemen with Fend first, which is odd.
I'm not a fan of Fend linemen.
So let's have a look at the Pro Elves. I think Weblin's team is a bit worse for wear, right? He used to have actually quite a nice.
Actually, it's not as bad as I recall. I mentioned the Rule of 5 before. This is an even better looking Rule of 5 team than the other Pro Elves.
I think I think this is a way better team than James.
But this used to be like a healthy 12-man, 1800 team.
But again, all he really needs is that core 5 players. He can have all loners besides that, and he can do very well and win a lot of games.
Yeah, for sure.
And he'll have 4 loners here, which is what, another 280?
240.
Aren't they 70K?
Yeah, no, they're 60. Pros are 60.
Oh, they're 60. Okay, my bad.
I thought they were 70. They're the shittest linemen.
So 1670. So he'll have 300 in inducements as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So but I mean, it's basically. I mean, I reckon it's wizard, and then you got to take either like babes or an apple or something like that.
Eldril.
An extra lineman or 2.
Not Eldril.
I don't know if I can see Eldril surviving for long against that team.
Would he have enough to get Eldril? How much is Eldril?
200. So maybe not.
Enough.
No, he doesn't have enough. Right.
I'm surprised that not more people bet for Weblin, because he's not looking to remove the other team. It's the 11 against 11, so he'll probably score and everything. And still
how much tackle did the Norse have?
They don't need tackle. They've got what's the word? Cheap man tackle. Yeah, frenzy. It's like tackle, only better because it works on players without dodge.
That's a tough one. I mean, with the inducements, Weblin could easily win it.
Oh, Weblin's actually in the chat.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's definitely a solid coach and he's got a good team. But I just think this Norse team, especially, we all know that the Norsing concept, right? Especially if the Norsing gets going, then it's going to be really hard for the Pro Elves. But I mean, they're in with a shot for sure.
I'm actually going to change mine. I had went with the Norse, but I think I'm going to go with the draw.
Huh. I'm going to be on Team Norse just because I want it to be. Because fun is also important, despite what you say. Not even because I think they have a better team necessarily, but
I mean,
this is the funnest Norse team I've seen in a while.
Norths are generally pretty good against elves as well, right? They are.
Typically,
Yeah.
yeah, typically.
I mean, they'll have a harder time running after it, but just, I mean, they're going to be ruthless. They're going to have frenzy. It's going to be a bloodbath, and I want them to win.
It doesn't have the best
Thanks,
track record
Weblin.
against.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Makes me wonder how much currying favour is going on here and how much actual opinions.
That was actually remarkably rude, right? Duck winning is not here, and Weblin is, and I just went straight. I want you to lose. Sorry.
I want you to get Norse.
But just because it's
All right.
fun.
Yep.
Well, that's tier 2A.
Yep. So let's now go to our tiers, which is we'll start with 1B, which a lot of games have been played. 2 of them today.
I have still not
one
managed to get
just
mine
got played.
scheduled.
One was just now, clearly.
Yeah, just got finished.
Yeah, literally right now.
Yeah, it just popped through.
Spoiler alert.
And that is not the result I went for.
No, it's not. I went for Crunky as well. Crunky let us down.
Oh, I think I got it right. Let me see.
Only
No,
one
I got
person
it
went
wrong.
for the draw. Yeah,
Only Niven
only
got it
only
right.
Niven got that.
Okay, but let's start at the top. We'll go.
Yep.
Let's not talk about the results. That's next week. The first game is Kinroth against Giraffe.
Ah, nice.
So, do you want to tell us what you think about your teams, Giraffe?
Yeah, so we have Kinroth's completely broken down and busted team, and mine a very healthy looking team. And I would vote against myself on coaching differential, but it's gonna be a really fun team. This is actually of this entire group, I think this is the team that the team that I'm most favored against on pure like quality of team. But it's still Kinroth, right? So you gotta be very careful with him.
And
But
he
I
still
think
has.
like this
I
team
mean,
is
you said
and
his
he
team
still
is
has
broken down,
Yeah,
but he
no,
still
he-
has
Yeah.
5 guard, right?
5 guard. Yep.
he does have 5 guard, but I also have quite a bit of guard. So guard isn't terribly scary for me. The important thing is he has one pure agility player, and I just have to watch out for the fast one. But other than that, it's a manageable team compared to some of the others in this division, which are really nice.
You also have 3 tackle, which will help immensely.
And
in
I
this
have
one.
tackle. Yes. I have a generally healthy team. I have a really nice ball carrier that has saved my ass repeatedly. And in theory, this should be. Whew. Let's see. I'll remind him to microdose before the game. Right. I'll try to do some meta tricks outside a game. Poisonous food, that kind of thing, and then I think I have a chance. But
Yeah, we had Kinroth. He didn't actually come on the show in terms of commentary, but he's been like in our stream quite a few times in the chat, and he has a big chat game.
Yes.
he does.
He's definitely.
But yeah, he doesn't always live up to the chat game, though. Unfortunately,
he enjoys talking some fun stuff before the match.
Smack talking.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
He's like a fuckboy on Tinder.
It should be noted that when it's all said and done, I believe he's going to be higher TV than you as well.
So he's
Wow.
17-30.
Is that so?
Yeah, 17:30.
I haven't actually looked at that.
So you'll be
7:30,
getting,
and where am I
you'll be
sitting?
given 70K in inducements.
Let's have a look at Giraffe's team.
It's kind of
That actually. Can I afford a full scum of a wizard?
Is that including whatever the level is?
Could.
It's a normal.
Yeah. Okay, it's normal.
Yeah,
So
it's normal. It's not exciting.
50. So you
like-
could
so
throw
I
your
could
whole
scum
bank
a
in
wizard.
and scum a wizard. Yes.
I probably won't. I'll probably. Are we playing at home? Sorry, I'm clearly unprepared for my own game.
No, you're
'cause
away.
I have
I'm pretty sure I'm
You're
away.
away.
You're away. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
you're
his
away.
stadium? I imagine he does not have the bribe stadium.
No, he
So-
doesn't.
I was going to say, I
He
think
does not have a stadium enhancement.
Nope.
I think
Okay.
as undead, I would almost prefer a bribe to
Yeah.
the wizard.
Yeah. So I was thinking bribe, or I might even not take it. Well, no, I'm probably going to take a bribe and then foul regardless of what the bribe does, because I do have a bench.
You got 2 dirty players. You
Yeah,
don't have
so-
to. I mean, he does have 1 mighty blow player, but you really
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have. And there's no reason for you to not, in my opinion, to not put the 50K in and get the bribe.
I think it's going to be bribe time, and then
Yeah.
I do have. So I have a palmer, I have tackle palmer, I have more mighty blow. So I'm hoping that I can just chip away at some of the team, and then we'll have fewer weapons.
And the mighty blow player is AV7 also.
Yeah, so
Yes.
you get a hit or 2 on him, he could leave the pitch.
Yeah. If
So I'm
if I
guessing-
manage to get the white on it, but we'll see.
Is your ball carrier ghoul just going to take sidestep, or you think you're giving
Yes.
it something else?
I was thinking of something particularly exciting, but in the end, it's just sidestep, isn't it?
Leap. No.
No, not leap. But yeah, if you have a ghoul just jumping, a strength ghoul jumping on you from above,
Give him
it's gonna
frenzy.
be quite a sight.
Yeah, I like frenzy.
Yeah, but there's already
my-
a frenzy ghoul. Right?
Yeah, the other
I have a
frenzy.
frenzy ghoul. Yeah. He's,
Sure
I think
feet.
that's enough for him.
Sure feet.
Sure feet was the other one, but I just think sidestep has more times when it comes into play.
Well,
where it's a bit more exciting than sure feet. But
The other thing about sure feet, sorry, Spydyr, is that it can actively get you killed as well, right? If you start to abuse it, then things can go wrong. Whereas
there's going to be that
sidestep-
time where you dub it, and when you do, it's with it being
Yeah.
a ghoul.
it'll be pain.
The
And also, I do
Yeah.
like to surround him with friends because I don't want to get him hit too much, and then I don't want him to outrun his buddies.
Yeah, but
with
what
sure
about
feet.
for like 1 and 2 turns and stuff? That's
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I mean.
sidestep is just such a good all-round skill.
yeah,
It means you can play on the sideline as well if you need to.
Yep.
You can play on the sideline. You can get him in annoying places, like stick him next to the ball. He is strength 4, so he blodge, so he's difficult to pin down. And when worse push comes to shove, we can try to one turn with him as well. So yeah,
I mean, actually,
I tried to convince myself to do something else, but
because of the strength, you could go tackle as well. Maybe does he get a lot of hits in?
he doesn't, because I tried to keep him away from he'll strategically push something when strength 4 really does the trick, but generally I try to keep him away from danger because he's really the centerpiece of the team.
Yeah, ideally, if you need a tackle blitz, you're going to be using one of the whites, and you'll just try to get the assist as you need it.
Yeah.
As you say, you got enough guard.
You might be the only undead team in all OCC with not a rookie ghoul in the team.
Yeah.
For now. Now that you said it.
Wait to jinx it, Galentio. Jeez.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Kinroth's
These-
gonna see this and be like, "All right, challenge accepted."
These ghouls haven't got to play against Sundrop yet, so one of them will bite the dirt.
I'm sure. I've
Sundrop
tried
doesn't
to
even have mighty
protect him
blow.
a bit.
He doesn't need mighty blow. Have you seen his casualty numbers?
He's got
with
hit.
no mighty
He's got
blow?
hidden.
All right,
he's like a war
let's
dance.
keep
He's got
it.
hidden mighty blow.
Yeah.
All right, so fine. That's the first game. Next is
That is the
brilliant.
first game. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Wait,
Go
we
on,
haven't talked about the betting.
The
yeah.
betting.
Go on then, betting.
Oh yeah, what have folks said?
2 people went for a draw. That was me and
You know
Niven.
what? I'm going to change my mind.
Uh-oh.
I had
Where's it
bet
going?
on Kinroth winning, and I'm actually going to change to Giraffe. I think the matchup,
Damn straight.
like what Giraffe said, if you look at the teams on paper, I think the undead team is just stronger.
Yeah.
For the pound for pound. Kinroth is just super aggressive coach, so he's going to go all out to win.
He
But
is.
I don't know.
And I think that's
I
what's
think-
going to cause it to be a
exciting.
draw. So
I think I'd
Galentio,
actually, if I were to bet, I'd bet on a draw, reasonably. But
Do you think
Galentio
is that because you
Gruff.
choose to get a draw as well, or is that you'd
no,
settle for a
I
draw?
would go for a win.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I would try for a win.
But, I think Kinroth's attempt to win is more likely to make the game not a draw, right?
it's possible. Yep.
Yeah.
But look
I
at
would
what happened in
definitely go
Champs
for a win
last
if I
year
could.
too. He attempted to win every match, and he only won 2 or 3 of them. He drew most of the others. Anyway, Galentio, Gruff, and Braculi went for Kinroth. Going with the Undead and Giraffe was Ethelred, Corn Knight, Dreamland, and Danton.
Actually, very similar records if you compare them. Less games on your team, similar spread.
I mean, like I said, Undead start, once they get to this sort of tier in the OCC, they start to struggle, but mostly that's because of facing, like developed
heavy
bash
claw
teams.
teams. Yep.
So against like Owls, it's still a good matchup for them.
It's a great matchup. Yep, absolutely.
Matchup, and having tackle is helpful. So
as long as you can stabilize and all that stuff.
Yep.
All right, so next is Papa Nasty in Russian, Brilliant Green against Alessis's Fire Emblem Awakening. So Papa Nasty's massive, horrific orc team.
Yep.
2000.
We played that team in tier 6. We were both starting out our teams in the same tier. Tier 6, game 2. And by game 2, he had something like 2 Mighty Blow Blitzers and like 2 more levels, like 4 levels against me with my 1 game, whatever that is that I had. It was terrifying, and it hasn't stopped since.
Yeah, although, I mean, we talked about the 2 tier 1 divisions, though. This is the only like scary team in this division, right? All of the other scary teams are in 1A.
I mean, Javelin's Necro are not exactly
Javelin's Necro, but Necro aren't like a full-on kill team, but for sure they are a nasty Necro team.
Yeah, keep your mummy safe, Giraffe. Those wolves are scary.
Yeah.
7 Mighty Blow on the
We'll do what we can.
1 Goblin,
7
and
Mighty Blow.
as Ethelred likes to point out every time, no troll.
Yep.
It's the mascot, I keep saying. He just stands on the sideline.
Yeah. With no one to throw him.
Oh.
Okay.
Too bad.
But, I mean, it suffers though. Obviously, I mean, the Blitzers are amazing, but the Black Orcs are obviously quite kind of. He's.
Yeah.
I mean,
just
pretty
run-of-the-mill.
likely. He's had to recycle a lot of Black Orcs, right?
Too bad we're missing Ethelred. He could complain about the roster not being positioned correctly.
I mean, I think that's great. I think everyone should mix their players up to make it annoying for people who are OCD.
Easter egg where you can fix other people's teams.
Yeah, everyone has their own view.
That's right.
All right, and they're playing against Alessis's
Dark Elves.
Fire Emblem Awakening.
The Dark Elves are actually giving the Orcs inducements.
What? And
that's an exciting team.
This is the Dark Elf team that has all the edge and all the strength up, like 7
That's a
green
really exciting team.
And that's just 11 players, right?
Yeah, he's giving him 60K. It is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes.
And the Orcs have bank, right? They have quite a lot of money in the bank, I think.
80K.
100.
Oh no, sorry, wait.
100K.
Now that I look at the teams, I might change my betting.
This is a nasty Dark Elf team.
I would on Papa Nasty though. Despite all that, I think the Orcs might.
I mean, matchup wise, this
team.
This matchup at high TV normally favors the Orcs because they normally have a lot of like Mighty Blow tackle and tools for like taking the Dark Elves apart. But yeah, obviously the stat ups on the Dark Elf team are going to help them.
Yep.
If you look at the stats, this team is, I feel like for what it is, it has a slightly less good record, considering like the beautiful stat ups that it has. And so I think it's just maybe not used as much. Like all the tricks and pieces aren't used as much as they could be.
Yeah,
considering because.
And if you're going to compare records, have a look at Papa Nasty's win rate: 22 wins, 10 draws, and 4 losses.
It's massive. Well done.
And I think most of the draws were last season. So he came really hot.
So, but maybe that's...
And he was in championship, right? Oh no, was he in? Where was he?
No.
He was in 1. Okay.
I think he
Because
had the same
this
progression as you.
team,
It was in tier 2 before, right? It was in Ethered's tier. It was
Yeah.
right? This team has only played 4 seasons, right?
Yeah, it's been a quick rise.
Yeah, but that so it could just be that it had a lot of wins in the lower divisions, and now it's slowing down a bit.
Now that it's gotten up higher,
could be.
it's balanced out some.
It could also be the teams you face higher up are a lot more claw and killy, right?
And the coaches are more seasoned also.
Yep.
Oh, the betting really suggests though that Papanasti is favoured. Four
Well,
going for him. Oh, you just
I just switched. Yeah, I switched from a draw to Papa Nasty.
But
I think it's going to be a draw.
4 for a draw and none for the Dark Elves at the moment.
Either way, it'll be interesting because the Dark Elf team is so healthy. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like after this game.
I mean,
Yeah.
if I was Dark Elves, I'd buy a 12th player, right? Get a lineman. You can
Give
afford
away
it.
more inducements.
Like, you're giving away inducements already. What's more gonna change?
Well,
Is there a
more gives him
stadium?
a wizard.
Is there a stadium enhancement that does anything?
Right, and pitch invasion.
Okay.
Right now, the orcs would have to put all their money in to get a wizard. The Dark Elves get a extra lineman. The orcs get a wizard damn near for free.
Yeah, but so that doesn't really change anything, does it? They're still getting wizard. If I was the Dark Elves, I wouldn't expect the orcs to be spending much more than that.
I don't think he puts all his money in to get the wizard if he has to. Maybe he puts a little in to get a bribe.
Also, that there's a witch that can one turn quite reliably.
Yeah, a two push one turner. Yep.
With sidestep.
I don't know that he puts all his money in to get a wizard if it stays as it is right now. To be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, like Giraffe said, the record for this team, is not as good as like the team suggests.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I put my money where my mouth is. I changed my vote to the Dark Elves.
He might have had trouble because since he got the startup so early, he didn't have any skills to support those startups, so it might have been hard.
He might just play really defensively to protect them too.
Yeah.
Instead of putting them out on the edge, trying to go for it.
I played this team right at the end of the season last season. Fortunately for me, Mighty Blow finally just did its job, and I destroyed the team before anything interesting could happen. So I can't really speak to the playstyle.
He won against Tower on top, which is not a pushover team.
Yeah.
I mean, none of these. He doesn't look like he runs away with games, right? Lots of 2-1s, 1-0s, 2-alls. It's not like there were a couple of seasons ago. There were some 3s in there, but it looks like he's pretty. At a guess, I'd say pretty.
They're close games.
Reserved about the way he plays. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2-1 grinding.
Well, I mean, but even as elves, like the perfect game is often a 2-1, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's indicative of skill if you're winning by a lot of touchdowns.
A perfect game is a game where you win and you don't lose to death.
True that.
Anyway.
Okay, cool. But the other games in this division have been played. Spydyr played his game and beat. Who was it?
I destroyed Dalabor's Dark Elves.
Yeah, it was a horrible dicing.
It was horrendous dicing.
Which I'm very thankful for because I'm facing Dalibor next.
Yeah, and
one thing, I might be the only person in OCC who is genuinely, honestly looking forward to my match with Dalibor. As a fellow slow player, we're going to take up 5 hours to play, and it's going to be glorious.
He's not even a slow player. He's not a slow player.
He doesn't. He's not the sort of player who's going to use like all 4 minutes. I think he's a bit like I'm a bit similar in that like in CCL I will definitely try and use up as much of the 2 minutes as possible. But in OCC, I'm still normally taking 2 minutes or 2.5 for a turn.
Well, I can tell you, having just played him,
yes,
the way he played our match was about the first probably 30 seconds of the turn. He typically didn't do anything. He was studying the pitch and deciding what he wanted to do. And then once he started doing his actions and making his plays, he played at a fairly decent pace. It's not like
that's
he really
very
out.
similar. That's very
Yeah.
similar to what I do. I normally like to take the first 30 seconds of a turn to kind of map out what I'm going to do,
Yeah.
and then just start doing it.
As opposed
I
to
love
somebody like me, I'm doing that during my opponent's turn, and the only time I'll really take time at the beginning of my turn to think is if it's a really important key turn. But generally, I already know what I'm going to do, and I'm doing
I mean, you can
it as soon as my
definitely
timer starts.
you can definitely use your opponent's time as well, but you know things are changing on the fly during
Oh
the
yeah,
opponent's
absolutely.
turn too, right?
Yeah,
so
that's
so it's kind of like
Absolutely.
I just like to kind of embed myself into what the position looks like just for the first few seconds, and then it's like, okay, now I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I'm completely the opposite. I play Blood Bowl sometimes like it's an arcade game. Like it's my turn. Da, 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 da. Okay, you're done. Next.
Dalibor has a
What's
reputation for
crazy?
being a slow player, but it comes from CCL and
I don't know. I've
2 minute
seen
turns,
him
right?
play. He takes his time, and I like as a fellow slow player who's very much pro taking your time. I think it's wonderful and less stress for me. So I hope he takes his 4 minutes so that I can spend that time thinking as well.
There are some coaches who will spend the first 3 minutes of the turn thinking, and then do their moves in the last minute, or even just slowly taking their turn bit by bit over the
I
whole
get
4
bored.
minutes.
When that happens, I'll tab out of the game.
Yeah, I've fallen asleep during games in some leagues.
Yeah, I'm like me by playing faster, my brain like activates in another level. Like things come better to me when I'm like
Start to see the
more
Matrix.
pressured.
For me, it's like I get distracted if the game's going really slowly.
Yeah.
I'm start looking at other things and playing on my phone,
Playing on your phone,
doing Sudoku or
exactly.
something. But yeah, no, there are way slower players than Dalibor.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
I equate him, or I would explain him as taking his time but not being overtly slow.
yeah. I mean, there are some coaches who can't play CCL because they're 2 minutes is not long enough for them. So Dalibor playing in CCL means that he's not that slow by default.
I think on Blood Bowl 3 it's going to be 2 minutes, but with the 7 minutes.
Yeah, 7.5 minute
Oh,
bank.
that's wonderful.
Are we gonna have settings?
I love the
right?
time bank.
You're not gonna have some leagues where they have a bit longer, or
The time bank is great, but at the moment, actually, the turns are just a little bit short because they don't actually stop the clock at all for any
With the running
animations.
clock
Right?
all the time.
Yeah. I mean, also we're getting used to it, right? But you kind of want an area. You want to be able to set it so that new people can have a place to play that will be a bit longer, right? At the very least.
Even I that play fast, I had a bit of trouble with the Blood Bowl 3 time because.
Well, the good news is they understand that, and they're in the process of. Let me see. How can I say this without going against
trying
NDA?
to not break the NDA.
Yeah, they're talking about discussing, and we're actually testing out some things that could help that a little bit. Still be a running clock, but there's some things that are going to make it not be quite as bad, I think.
Javelin said, I kept panicking when the turn was headed to 0 and then being surprised when the turn didn't end. And there was that.
But even with that, I've played a ton of games because, as you guys obviously know, or well, most of you do, I'm in the private beta as well, so I'm playing all the time. And I've gotten so used to it now that I don't even use even half of my time bank. And now, granted, I'm a pretty quick player in general anyway, but I'm to the point now where I use maybe a minute and a half or 2 minutes of my time bank through a whole match.
I was about to say I'm the same as Javelin, where it's not necessarily. It's the ticking noise is really frightening. It's like it's really thundering. So it's like it's really strong. And then actually, it's not even the end of the turn. You've still got another some portion of 8 minutes to go.
It used to be way worse with the alarm clock on the extra time.
Yeah, like geez, start sweating. Anyway,
we should move on.
Yeah, I played Javelin today. We got a draw. It was horrific. I got diced. I didn't get diced. It was, but I'm happy with. Well, I'm not happy. The draw is acceptable.
Looking at the teams on paper, I think a draw is a great result for you.
Yeah, especially as Zara got Kaz turn 2. So I lost 220 TV of inducements pretty
And I think
quick.
Most people had picked Javelin to win that anyway, so
Yeah,
I think
going
in, I
you
think
have
you
this team
probably
parlay.
would have been happy with the draw.
2 people went for a draw, Nibnen and Dreamland. Yeah. But yeah, look at this.
Nibnen on first on the first round. By these predictions, he must be on top now.
Yeah, and you didn't even put a dent in the Necro team.
I
will say,
I got 4 KOs and 1 Kaz, and the Kaz was a regen zombie. God. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
That is such a nice team.
I will say that when the division started on Sunday, I was in first place all by myself after my match. Because
you won
as
a game.
as Corn Knight knows, that was the only match played, and I was the only one that picked myself to win that one.
Oh yeah, in the betting, yeah, of course,
yeah.
Yeah, this is the team that wiped my
for
team
years
also.
to come.
Didn't injure anyone, but it was like 8 Ks at the end of the game.
No perms though.
No perms, fortunately.
Anyway, and the last game of the week was Crunky Chops, Serial Sinkers, the Vampires against Count Mathes's Kingdom of Spydyr.
That's the one that was just played,
and was a draw, which no one went for.
I think that's a great result for the Brits, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's considering it's an amazing result.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mathas, we've already mentioned he has won OCC with this team.
He's a great coach.
But his team isn't in the best shape at the moment.
Was Crunky Chops in that division at the same time as well?
I think it was Kielstad, wasn't it? Was that
Kielstad. Sorry, yeah.
I don't think Crunky Chops has actually been the champs with this team.
No, you're right. He hasn't.
He got Zug and Zara as star players.
Oh, that's exactly what I was looking up. Oh, I mentioned Zug. No one said Zug was a good idea.
Actually, yeah, Zara against the Vamps is a nice.
Yeah, that's a very nice piece for the going against Vamps.
Does it get it doesn't get the bonus against the Thralls, right? Only against the Vamps.
No, against the Vamps. I mean, against the Thralls too. Yeah.
It gets it against everybody on that team. Yep.
Yeah. The rules are not specific enough to say one player or not. It just says anyone on dead teams.
On the Vamp time. Yep.
Yeah.
Undead, Necro, Vamps, or Khemri. They all get stabbed. All right. So that's 1B.
Yep. 1A.
1A, yeah. Next.
The best division.
3
matches played in this one already too.
Yeah, I thought this one was way ahead, but apparently we've caught up. So Spydyr, who was actually streaming earlier today as well, against Franco, who's normally in the chat but not here at the moment. The Khemri against the Undead.
The Undead, yep.
The very beaten up Khemri. 1390. Is that 11 players? It is 11 players.
Ouch.
Only 1 throw Ra, although it is strength 4. Only 1 blitz Ra. And 3 recently purchased Tomb Guardians because the other 3 all died fairly, a couple of games ago or so. Just fully
interesting. The first thing I noticed that's very interesting is the Khemri's stadium enhancement. They didn't go with the weather. They went with the riot and pitch invasion. That's very surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a typical Bash team choice, right? Just to, make sure you get the 2-1 grind and they don't get an extra turn. But
that's way against the grain for Khemri. Khemri, across the board, almost always go weather because the rain really kills them. And the snow hurts them too because they're already a slow team.
Yeah.
So that's surprising to me.
I mean, the sweltering heat's not great for them either, right?
Sweltering heat is terrible for them as well. Or it's obviously very random, but it can be terrible.
Yep. Absolutely, because if it's sweltering heat takes out even 1 Tomb Guardian, you're extremely hampered at that point.
Okay, but he's 1390, so he's going to be getting 300 30 TV of inducements against Swedo.
Yep.
That's
And
nothing
his...
for memory.
It's not really enough, is it? Maybe... Oh, I guess it's... what's his name? Setek. Setek and a bribe?
Setek against Undead is not that good.
It's not terrible.
Not terrible. But
He's got sure hands.
He does have a sure hands piece, but the big thing for the Undead is his mummies are very very new. So even though the Tomb Guardians are new too, that's gonna help the Kimry out a little bit.
Swedo did have a Blodge mummy who got strength bust on the first game after he got dodged.
So he actually he kept him for like a game and then realized it just wasn't worth it.
Yeah, it's a shame. I like the idea, but yeah.
Yeah, because he was still a flesh golem at that point and a blodger, but yeah, I get it. I mean,
very expensive flesh golem.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so everyone's bet on this already, haven't they? So
it's pretty even actually. 3 people went for Franco, 3 for the draw, and 4 for Swedo.
Yeah, I think with the wizard and the strength 4 catcher and everything, it will just be a 1-1 draw, most likely.
Very easily could be, for sure.
Yeah, if Frank Ash can strength bully the mummies with the Tomb Guardians, he can just like control the pitch. And if the whites like it, I think it's gonna depend on the whites killing skeletons basically. And that's it.
I did go with Swedo. I think his team's just better.
Yeah, it kind of is, but it also, the Khemri are going to be a lot stronger, especially if they get a strength 4 star.
Set, yep.
As well as having a strength 4 throw ra and having 4 Tomb Guardians for possibly the first time in a long time.
He has 2 dirty player skeletons, which can just foul something out if it gets down.
But yeah, I went for a draw this one.
Yeah, I've gone for Swedo. I think the Undead just have a little bit too much.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, so it's a lot of inducements to make up, isn't it? A lot of TV to make up. Inducements.
I mean, Khemri, they have some decent options, but when their team is so bare bones, it really is hard to make up the difference.
Yeah, if I had to choose someone to win, would be Swedo for sure. Yes.
Okay, Sabretooth Vagabonds have played Scalemates already and won.
Carmack.
We have Carmack. Carmack's still in the chat. You there, Carmack? You gonna tell us how you diced the pants off of
the lizards?
Obviously, he's already told me in some detail.
Yeah.
But
I have heard his version already. But,
yeah. It does include the lizards misclicking to do a block and dodging behind a player rather than so obviously
you never want to go that way. Actually, who cares as long as you win, but it still feels dirty, doesn't it?
Hey, at least it wasn't as bad, or it sounds like it was worse than my misclick, because at least my misclick didn't cost me a turnover.
What did you do?
What did I do, Corn Knight? You remember on turn 2?
Oh yeah, on
my second action of my turn.
Yeah, he didn't see a player behind someone, and he clicked to go to that square with his Saurus, so he fouled with a Saurus. First action of the turn.
Oh yes.
It was a pretty big, it's pretty big Saurus as well, right? Wasn't it one of the better ones?
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't even skillless or anything.
It could have been really bad.
Yeah.
How else do you show people how to dominate? I love it.
See, and Corn Knight said I was getting lucky with that. I said that's pro chat moves because I changed the dice up into my favor the rest of the game.
Yeah, you wasted a few meaningless dice that weren't doubles, so it's fine. And Carmack has been chatting. He said he misclicked on his drive. He still scored on turn 7. So the misclick wasn't actually drive ending.
Right.
And Carmack scored back in 2 turns, which he's quite proud of. And then removed the living crap out of his team on my drive and brought it home. And that was that.
In the process, in the process, he niggled
one of the Saurus.
Yeah. Strength 5, I would still keep
Strength 5 one.
Victory all the way.
I would still keep that Saurus.
The team has too much. It was the Apo tried to kill the Saurus as well, right? So he did get Apo'd, and the Apo said he's dead. So he kept
the classic. I can let him be or end his misery.
I mean, it's interesting. Like having 3 Strength 5 players, does that make a Niggled one less valuable or more valuable? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good player. Like
you definitely don't get rid of him.
Yeah, you're definitely keeping it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still have to break armor 9. Now Claw can do that easy enough, but normal teams aren't gonna.
And even Claw, you've got like a wall of strength 4 and 5 with guard. I really like how much guard this Lizard team has. You quite often
it's a solid team.
After the chaos that I faced this round, this might be the team that I'm gonna struggle most against as humans.
I mean, Carmack there is suggesting that Hawkster though maybe is not mentally very resilient, because it looks like he kind of fell apart slightly, after he kind of made a mistake or was behind.
Oh, so I can use psychological warfare during the game.
Yeah.
Well, and I think we made a mention of that when we did the full team preview. When we seen his record, we all kind of thought the record seemed kind of subpar for the way the team's built. Like it should have been better. So maybe that blends into what Carmack was just saying, that if he has something go bad, one big thing or one big setback, then he lets it affect the rest of his gameplay.
Being able to not tilt is a really big part of Blood Bowl, isn't it? Because it's a massively tilting game, and then you've got to
can do it. I'm not one of them, but power to you if you can.
I once was able to win a game with like 3 players against 11 with short sharps and still win somehow.
One gutter runner. I have one with one gutter runner on the pitch that scored the winning touchdown against 9 players. But yeah,
that's the kind of attitude you have to need for some games, because the dice will just completely destroy you sometimes.
Yeah, and a pool of 2 results is not necessarily proof, but it's pretty. It's as much as we got, right?
It might indicate something.
Yeah, it's definitely a pointer in that direction for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so the next is the game that has been played, which is Pillars of Heaven against Physics Boys.
That's the Dark Hills Trunkhead, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Against Van Easterlane.
That's the crazy orc team. I
mean,
crazy.
It's crazy because it has 4 goblins, right?
Yeah, 4 goblins. Yeah.
But the rest of the team is quite nice.
Okay, let's do this in order. So Trunkhead is at home, right? It's got Squig Sandwich, 1820.
Look at that shadowing.
11 players.
Shadowing Blitzer.
Diving tackle, shadowing. This has been discussed. Was it
diving tackle sidestep shadowing?
Yeah,
it does. They do combine.
They do.
That's great.
Yeah.
The pixel hugging stadium.
I love that player. I think it's interesting, right? It's bringing something exciting to the team.
This player triggered a discussion on the Discord.
Yeah.
Did it?
Quite wrong. About the order of people shadowing and diving tackle.
I still haven't got a chance to test that either.
It's because Blood Bowl 1 implemented it the other way around, right? So I think they got it right in Blood Bowl 2. Blood Bowl 1 used to ask you about, I think, shadowing before diving tackle or something like that.
Yeah, which is the wrong way. Like it specifies the order of what skills happen.
Yeah, diving tackle should be used first.
Yeah.
It should be rolled first. Sorry.
Should be rolled. Well, yeah, you roll the dodge first before you roll the shadowing, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you pick whether you want to use the diving tackle during the dodge, and then you pick to use the shadowing once they vacated the square. So you have the knowledge of whether they failed the dodge or whether you've used diving tackle before shadowing, or you get I'm not a great fan of it. I like shadowing and I like diving tackle, but on the same player, I don't think it's quite as valuable as being on 2 different players. I don't know why I think that, but I just feel that
waste 2 players on meme skills.
That might have just been me muttering.
I mean, I think it's fine, but I'd prefer to have shadowing on like a movement 8 or 9 player. But it's still it's still an interesting combination.
It's a very unique player that will be the hell of any gutter runner. Or
It works a lot better. That skill combination works a lot better on a gutter runner or a skink.
Or a
yeah,
pro or high F catcher. I have a pro
That's
F
not what
catcher
he's
with
got.
Yeah.
He's got dark elves and he wants to play them.
Yeah, exactly.
So the dark elves are getting 170 in inducements. So you're probably looking at the wizard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Against the crazy orcs of Physics Boys, 1990 TV, a pro guard troll, 4 goblins with no SPP at all, who have been recently replaced. Either maybe they've died or you replaced them whenever they're level. And the usual cohort of black orcs and blitzers. No linemen, no throwers.
Yep.
I played against him last season. He's a very, very gung-ho orc player. Like, I'm gonna kill your team and base your team and just arc you out of the field, basically.
I mean, he's got 2 Mighty Blow piling on pro blitzers. That suggests he likes killing, right?
Yeah.
And against me last season as well, he played the same way. He used the 4, and I mentioned this before. He used the 4 goblins kind of as a protective shield wall type of positioning to protect his pylon blitzers whenever he could. So that's how I used the goblins.
When I played against him, I blitzed his goblins every turn and couldn't even scratch them.
Yeah, I couldn't either. Exact same thing for me, Dan. I could not touch his goblins. Yep.
I was lucky because I think I was the one that gave the Niggle or took advantage of the Niggle of the piling on blitzer and was able to remove him like turn 2.
Talking of Blood Bowl being tilting, the fact that both of you clearly remember that is telling, right? Yeah. There's not that much guard, right? He's got 3 blitzers without guard, which is for an orc team a poor show if you ask me.
I still got 6 though.
I mean, I think his core 8 players is still pretty strong, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The pro troll is also annoying.
It's got and he's got a lot of stand firm, right? Which all of that stand firm and guard can definitely be put to good use.
Yep.
2 of them blodge firm, which is incredibly irritating when used well. Anyway, have they played already? I've forgotten.
No, don't think so.
No, they have not played.
They're the ones who haven't yet.
For the betting, 1 person went with the orcs, and that was Corn Knight. 4 people went with the Dark Elves. That was Galentio, myself, and Ethelred, and Dreamland.
And me. And then I went for a draw.
I don't see you on there as a
draw. 3. Are you missing out the 3 others?
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry.
Lol.
I was looking at. No, I'm looking at the right one. I was just looking at the bets for.
You were looking for home rather than draws. Yeah.
For Trunkhead was Galentio, myself, Ethelred, and Dreamland, and then for the draws was Danton, Gruff, Nibbinen, Brockuli, and Carmack.
Go for the orcs just because I believe in the bash.
Wow.
In the high roll.
And it should be said as well that
it's a good matchup for the orcs for sure.
It is. Trunkhead plays very well, and he's rebuilt this team nicely. And he sometimes he tends to do some out of the blue or off the wall kind of decisions and positioning, but he always makes it work somehow. There's oftentimes, and I know Corn Knight, you've mentioned this too. There's oftentimes you look at what he does and you're like, why would he do that way, or why would he do that? And then you're a little bit later, you're like, oh, okay, and he made it work. I see it now.
I don't understand how he plays, but he's beaten me twice, so I can't complain.
I mean, I played against him. So literally, the last match he played was against me in champs last season, and I mean, I beat him in that match, but I didn't. I mean, I thought it was fairly standard the way he kind of went about the game, but that was just a one-off experience.
Yeah, I've played him quite a bit because we were in several leagues together. So I've probably got, I bet, probably 15 to 20 matches against him. And he's a good coach. He just sometimes, and not all the time, but sometimes he does some things that will make you be like, why in the world did he do that?
Yeah,
but he makes it work.
It's mostly like the level of basing that he was doing against my Norse that I was, finding perturbing, and then not knocking them down at all. It's like, well, even with Blodge, you'd expect
in Blodge we trust.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it worked. So and he won. So I can't complain. All right. Anyway, so also Infernal Demon Smiths and Jimmy's Leaping Avengers have played, and that was a draw. Which
Ant-Man's Chorfs and the Kislev of
Mongloom's Kislev, yeah.
The drawing master, Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yep. He's starting off where he left off.
Maybe this season he can actually get the 090 he was going for last season.
Most people bet on a draw in that one, so
yeah.
The meme continues.
And the last game was Galentio against Stolberg. No ogres were harmed in the making of this game.
I cry every time.
Yeah.
He did you a favor. Got rid of your ogre. High TV humans don't want an ogre, so
It was too soon.
you've got a better team now.
Galentio described the human teams without ogres as the hipsters, I believe, of the high TV world.
It was a scary SL game. I think Cornite saw it.
I saw the first half at least.
I saw a
so
bit
much
of
claw,
it.
claw everywhere.
Yeah.
Anytime you play Stolberg, it's a scary game.
It's terrifying to face that too.
That was the Chaos team that used to have an Agi 5 strong arm beastman, right, at some point. And then
he had like 6 claw killers, full claw stack killers, and it was like 2,500 TV or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the most scary thing is not even it's like the 2 Chaos Warriors with claw were devastating. The Frenzy claw one was also like pushing me all around and getting like that pseudo tackle where he gets up on 4 dices.
Yep.
But I think you definitely were lucky that he got a lot of KOs.
Yeah,
but
a lot of KOs.
wasn't really injuring your players.
That's the only thing you can hope for when you play him is because he's gonna get the hits and the knockdowns and he's gonna get the breaks.
Yeah,
you
9
just gotta
KOs.
hope that their stuns and KOs are at worst badly hurts.
But
except for one player. So the ogre got what did he get first? He got Niggle first. He did, didn't he?
And Niggle and the apple broke his armor.
Which would you? So the other coaches here, what would you choose, Niggle or Armor Bust on an ogre?
The Niggle.
Okay. Danton?
I would take the Armor Bust because the ogre is likely to be fouled by other people, and I think the Niggle's worse for that.
Giraffe?
I would take the Niggle because you don't the whole thing is you don't break armor, and I maintain that fouling ogres is a terrible idea because of the thick skull.
The thick skull, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, my logic is
I would take the Niggle.
You wouldn't take an armor up, so therefore an armor down is less bad. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you wouldn't take an armor up because claw exists. So a Niggle is far worse when he's getting claw, obviously.
Especially, getting hit by Claw Mighty. Armor 8 is exactly the same as Armor 9, but the Niggle is making him much weaker.
I'm still evaluating if I need the ogre. I'm probably going to use him against the Kislev, since it's going to be a good roadblock. But after that, I'm going to seriously.
Yeah, you can always
my
just
first game is against Carmack, so
you can just sack him when it makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't think this ogre has a lot of time on this team. I might fire him and get another catcher and go full human elves or full human Skaven, basically. Since I have 2 movement 9 catchers, which were really handy. If they didn't snake a catch, I would have been 2-0 on the first half. So
are you just showing off?
Yeah, I'm kind of showing off because this is like I've played a temporary elf team on my first season, and that team wasn't as agile as this human team. I don't know what happened, or what kind of sacrifice did I do to Nuffle to deserve this team. But at the same time, I feel like it's impending with this league, that then my team is gonna get killed eventually.
Well, you
So-
definitely dodged a big bullet in that game because
Yeah,
that was the sort of game that really could have,
Especially being
busted up
week
your.
one. Yep.
ruined the
Yeah,
season.
it could have really put you on the back foot for the rest of the season. But if it was me, I would be really happy that it was only the ogre that got a
Oh,
perm.
heck yeah. And you got
Yeah.
out with the win, too, which is even better.
Exactly. Even and winning it, it's double bonus.
1 bash down, 8 to go.
Yep.
I mean, most of the bash where you'll want an ogre, you're going to be able to induce an ogre anyway, right? So you'll be the lower TV team,
At that
And you
level, I would
could-
induce like Seg.
or well, you probably actually just get
I'd
wizards.
rather have a wizard, yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, have a wizard and
I mean, that's the thing,
Furry.
by keeping the ogre on the team, I mean, it's basically kind of denying yourself a wizard quite often.
that
It's
is
not
literally the
worth it.
choice you're going to be making in 2 weeks'
It's
time.
not
I
gonna
think.
be worth it. I'm still gonna see what kind of TV the Moongloon will have at our game, so we'll see. It would be really handy at the next. I'm playing Orcs next. It will be really handy having an ogre, but oh well.
Well,
I think that's the
actually,
matchup it finds most.
in that game, you might actually be able to induce one and get a wizard at the same time, right? Because they are 2000 TV.
I'll have to see.
Okay, champs. We've almost made it.
Yes.
And one game has been played, and that was also today, I think. Right?
Yeah, that played today. Yep.
But we'll start on the top, and the first game is Gimlick Silver Lords of Altmar against a Wolfbark's Warpstone Watchers.
We had Wolfbark on the show last week when we were looking at the divisions, and he literally said on the show, "I want to face Gimlick week 1 because Gimlick is without his. He's got like quite an obscene killer elf with like a pommer.
Yep.
A tackle pommer, which obviously for Underworld is
a
bit
tackle
of an
bomber with jump up, which would have been lovely against Underworld, but he's missing that piece, so Wolfbark is very happy to face him.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll be ecstatic. Still a good team, yeah.
Yeah, still a good team.
Yep.
A very
11
interesting
players.
season for champs.
A natty catcher. A one-push, one-turn catcher.
Named after me. I still can't get over it because it's my most hated type of player.
And a smashing of guards, 3 guard players. No real important red crosses. Nice
in good
team.
shape, this team. Yeah.
And 11 players.
He's definitely missing. He's going to be missing that killer in this specifically in this matchup
absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah. And no more tackle after that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be an issue because obviously Wolfbark has quite a lot of dodge.
All the dodge.
And also, of course, his own killers who are a bit better at the killing.
Yeah, this is also a team with a rule of 5. It's like 5 players and the rest is linemen and goblins.
Yep.
I mean, we talked about this as well. He had like 2 or 3 Edge 4 goblins as well that unfortunately died, but he still has like the important players.
The 2-headed goblins also, which are very TV efficient.
What are the injuries there besides the movement bust? Is that it?
They're both just movement busts, yeah. Oh no, actually, is one of them niggled?
Oh, one of them has a niggle.
Yeah, one is niggled.
The Jogs one, yeah, because and he said last week that he that's the better one because he's the one that's more likely to hit and run away.
Both
Whereas
legends.
the guard one, yeah. Not bad, eh? But Wolfbark's getting what 200 TV of inducements?
No.
No.
Because they're both at 11 players.
140. Sorry.
Yeah, he's getting 140.
Does he have the Star Player Stadium? Or?
He does have the Star Player Stadium, but he is playing away.
But they're at the High Elves.
Yeah, they're at the High Elves Stadium. Which is this a Wizard Stadium? Because I think there's a couple of Wizards.
Nothing.
No, not this one.
Oh,
but there's a couple of Elf teams. Yeah. Maybe he did.
No, Guido is one. There was another one though, wasn't there? Oh, was it Andy?
No, Andy is the
beer stand, of course.
Beer stand.
Yeah. I think he
no
had.
question about that.
Oh no, that was Bam. Old one's got the So Bam and Guido both have the Wizard Stadiums. So no, he didn't drop it just for this game. He's never had it. No stadium enhancements at all.
Okay.
I've gone for Wolf Park.
So I've gone for Wolf Park because I think mainly because that Blitzer is out, and I think
That's a shame.
Wolf Park's just too good of a coach to not let this opportunity slip.
3 people went with
good coach as well, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Everybody
for sure.
in champs is good coaches. So.
Definitely, Gimlick is a good coach. But I mean, given the advantage he has with that player out, I think that Wolf
It's
Park
huge. Yeah,
is gonna take advantage of it.
3 people went with Gimlick, Gruff, Guido, and Braculi. I had voted with Gimlick, but I switched it to a draw. 3 people went with a draw. That's myself, Nibbinen, and Dreamland. And then everybody else went with Wolfbark. And that is Ethelred, Wolfbark himself, Danton, Cornite, and Galentio.
Yeah. We also can't forget that Gimlick has a natty that can change the game really quickly.
That's the one turn. The one reason why I still went with he. Not only does he have one, he has 2 natties.
Well,
he has 1 natty and then another one turn that
needs a push.
score easily. Yeah.
The natty does not have short feet though.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, ideally, you'd be pushing both of them 2 squares or 3 squares even, just to avoid the
failed goal forwards.
Yeah. But yeah, the fact he's got the sprint means that you have to set up differently, which means he'll probably get the pushes because you have to backline really against him.
Yep.
All right. So the second game of the week is Danton, your game, against Guido. Do you want to say anything? So let's introduce Giraffe to the Fecker. Brian the Fecker.
Ellie.
How's that for a natty?
In anticipation.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I'm actually watching the stream, so I'm on a delay.
You're about 3 or 4 seconds.
There we go.
There's the
What
Fecker.
the shit?
It's not bad for human, is it?
How is it not injured in some way, shape, or form?
It's not for lack of trying. Trust us.
Yeah, I imagine. Like, he must have had a target on his back the entire time.
He lives a charmed life, the Fecker. Yeah.
Well, I mean, basically the rest of the team is thrown in the way in front of him.
I mean, basically he does a lot of running away. And yeah.
I love the random thrown in at the end.
I mean, the leap is pretty useful for one turning.
Over backlining. Yeah, over backlining.
And even there are situations where you get kind of totally swamped by another team and the Fecker can just leap out. But obviously it's leaping with edge 4 is not normally like your plan A if you can help it, but it's a good resource to have.
We have played multiple times now, and I know I've
3
had
or 4.
Yeah, I know I've had at least 3 or 4 shots where he hit the ground, and I could have done even with. I think I might even had a foul or 2 on him, and couldn't get him. But equally at the same time, you've had 3 or 4 shots at Sundrop and couldn't do anything to him either. So
I've removed Sundrop from the page, but yeah, I mean not actually done any permanent damage to him.
I've definitely tried my hardest to get Fecker out of here, but he kind of like Sundrop. He leads a charmed life.
Yeah.
Wait, are you +2 -1 movement on the next blitzer?
Yeah. Yes, that is indeed a
lovely
movement up, movement down.
I am, and it's very sad, but I mean, if you have an elf on a human team, you just got to pay the you've got to pay the bloat tax and keep him. Unfortunately,
that's only 30K.
What a team!
Doesn't really hurt you that much.
Yeah, I mean, this team came first equal in champs last season and came second on TD difference. But
not TD. You mean TD difference? Sorry, T.
Yeah, TD difference. But this season, I think, is going to be a harder season than the last one. But we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, that strength blitzer got a niggle as well. The one who's MNG.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Which is sad. Yeah.
I was about to say it's still kind of a healthy team, but I guess maybe not so much.
It's got a. I mean, like the top catcher is AV6.
Yeah.
I mean, but amazingly, he's been AV6 for a very long time.
Yep.
Because again, those two catchers are gold in a team like this. So I definitely try and keep them out of traffic if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprised
Where-
you don't have a thrower if it's not just for the
I-
leader.
I have had several throwers, but yeah, they just keep dying.
They die.
I mean, they're glorified linemen up until the point they get something special, right? So they've all
Well,
died.
as long as they're the ones dying and not the fecker, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Protect
Well,
the
yeah,
flag.
and I mean the blitzer is obviously a key. Like, I mean the only blitzer that never rolled a stat up is the killer, and he's almost like the most important piece on the team. Like last season in champs, he was easily, I think, the biggest brute in the whole of champs because I blitz with him nearly every turn. And I mean, human teams really badly need a piece like that.
Yeah. If my killer also wins me a lot of games, and it's basically the same build as yours.
Yeah, I would have loved jump up as a final one, but yeah, just couldn't roll the double.
There's still 99 SPP to go. You might get it. All right, and you're playing Guido.
Playing Guido, which is again, it's a good time to face him because his team is obviously very beaten up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's got 3 MNGs, hasn't he?
Yep.
He's going to have 6 loners against me, which is going to be interesting. But
So
I mean,
that's,
still, he's still got.
420?
Yeah, he's still got some decent players, obviously, on his team, including a Natty himself.
A Natty, yep.
Like, does the team that doesn't have a natty at this point?
Quite a few in champs do, I think.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, champ seems to be natty galore.
If you're elves, rats, or humans, you basically, or any other movement 8 team, the chance of getting 2 movement ups at some point is, I guess, not bad.
For me, I think for humans, I think it's like, it gives them a chance. For elves, it's like, come on, you don't need a natty. You've got enough already. But humans definitely can do with one.
Especially one with that G4, huh?
And
I was going to say, oh yeah.
The elves will be getting 240 in inducements, I think.
Yeah, G40. Which is actually not as much as I was expecting.
Not a huge amount. I mean, I would be expecting a wizard and maybe a wizard and babes. He could actually, if it's 240, he can chuck in the 10k he has for a couple of babes if he wants.
Yeah, or he could go with the bribe and foul with one of his 6 loners.
It's the classic elf mercenary bloat.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go for a bribe. But I mean, the natty is definitely going to give him a solid chance to at least get a draw, if not win. So it'll be definitely a game to take seriously.
And lots of people have bet for you. Dreamland and Guido have both gone for Guido. Gruff, Nibden, and Galentio going for the draw. And everyone else have gone for Danton. Ethelred, Spydyr, Danton, me, Broccoli, and Wolfbark.
I'm half tempted to switch to a draw, but I think I'm going to stay with Dan. I think the wizard could give it a really good chance to get a draw.
Wizard. I mean, the only thing is he doesn't maybe have a lot of. I mean, he's got 2 catchers, right? So if he pulls the trigger with the wizard, he almost needs to do it fairly early-ish. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, at the very least, he can protect his players, right? He's only got 3 players really that he's protecting.
And I mean, the elf loners that can do a pretty good job of just getting in the way.
Yeah, it really, and I think I said this the other day when we did the full preview. It's going to depend on what his mental thought process is, because like I said, when he came back, he was expecting to go back into tier 1, not to be in champs, and he was surprised when he went into champs. So that could.
Although we did talk about this, it's actually probably easier to rebuild a team like this in champs than tier 1.
Absolutely. So that's going to be the thing. Is he going to go full rebuild and just play defensive to protect? And if that's the case, then maybe he doesn't go wizard. Maybe he goes Apo and something else. Maybe an extra merc player to have extra players thrown away.
I doubt he'd do that. I think I mean, he came very close to winning champs, right? The season
did.
before last.
2
And I
seasons
think
ago, yep.
he just needed a draw, I think, on the last game, and he ended up losing it, and getting his team wrecked. But I'm sure he'll be going for the win.
He could do both. He could get the wizard, throw the 10k in, and get the APO to help protect.
I think he'd be better off with Babes, though, because it's.
Oh, I think he
just
would, but I'm just saying, in his mind, if he's trying to protect the team a little bit as well, he could potentially go that route. It'd be interesting to see. When are you guys scheduled to play?
Tomorrow
Nice.
afternoon. Yeah.
Are you going to be streaming?
No, I don't stream as of yet.
Okay.
I don't think he does either.
Okay.
No, he doesn't.
Gotcha.
All right, so the next game is that tomorrow afternoon your time or tomorrow afternoon European time?
Yeah, so basically 7:30 UTC.
PM. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, and the next game is Nibenen's Motivated Squad against Andy's Justice for Leap.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be an interesting one.
Yes, it is. The bot heavily favoring the Wood Elves.
Yeah. 13-player Chorfs. A bit of wasted claw in there. I mean, he'll get hits on the tree if he really wants to, but horrible Chorf team. Against are they the same TV?
Strength kick, is it?
What was that, sorry?
Strength kick, is it? Huh.
Yeah.
That's a hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Hobgoblins, with the strength here,
they run out of skills to take after.
Yeah.
A few, right?
I don't even know. Do you even take the strength on it? Honestly.
Yeah, you absolutely.
I think it's definitely.
Well, what do you do with it?
Well, because you've got so much, but you've got so much guard.
Yeah.
You've got so much guard that it's just it gets stuck in with the Chorfs and kind of helps support them.
I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? More guard would kind of help the team more. I think I agree with Giraffe that guard would be better.
I would have taken.
Better and much cheaper, right?
I would have made him the ball carrier, but he may have already had the other one built as the ball carrier before he got the strength on that one. I don't know.
Didn't he have an Ag4 at the same time?
I think he had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had a different one that was a better ball carrier that probably died.
Maybe even Blodge.
But where I was going to go when I first started was the kick is not a bad pick there because you're not going to put him on the line of scrimmage with the strength in the block and tackle at that point. So he's going to be protected back behind the line, so you might as well throw kick on him because you don't have anything else really to throw on him.
To be honest, I mean, what else are you going to put on it? Like fend?
Exactly.
I mean, there's just not many skills that are useful.
I'd quite like to have given him Frenzy or Strip, but that's kind of made redundant by the Frenzy. I mean,
Strip is really situational on it. Frenzy maybe, but he's already got a Frenzy Bull Centaur, right?
Yeah, and the fact that both bulls have break tackle makes them better at getting around.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah,
I think that Frenzy Bull Centaur, could be a big piece in this game because that can obviously chase down elves, and it's got all the tools to get them off the pitch.
It needs to get him down. Yep.
Well, they're not at Andy's Stadium. They're at Nibden Stadium. So there is no beer stand for people to get stomped on by the crowd.
Yep.
There's little differences that actually makes.
I do anticipate some sideline play where they get into a surf off and forget about the ball for a bit.
Oh, it will be with Andy. That's
very
for
pleasant,
sure.
Yeah, right. Andy and the Frenzy Bull Centaur is just a recipe for trouble for everybody.
Yeah, Nibden doesn't have any stand firm either, which is kind of surprising for that TV level of Chorf, right? But anyway,
he's lost a couple of blockers too. I think he had 2 stand firm blockers that he lost.
Yeah. Andy's up to 12 players. I think he was less than that last week, but end of last season.
Last season, yeah.
1990. So giving away 10k to Nibden? I don't know if they'll actually get anything.
So much lower TV than he's had earlier.
I mean,
because he's got a lot of his team chipped away.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a lot of players that he's lost recently, hasn't he? The Natty that had kick.
Yeah, the one catcher was really rough.
I think we talked about the plus strength catcher as being a bit debatable as well, whether
Yeah.
you would take the strength as the first skill.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Not sure about that. Yeah.
I mean, I think it ends up being,
another guard would be nice.
Yeah, exactly. I think guard helps the team more. It's kind of worth the 50k, but wood elf catchers are kind of cheap, and that what makes them good. Strength 2 is fine, especially when you've got strength 4 frenzy war dancer and another strength 3 war dancer. And the strength 3 catcher is not really bringing very much, is it?
I don't know. I feel like it has potential for future skills on top of that might be interesting. I'm not sure what they are, but I don't know.
It's basically
jugs. I don't even know.
Basically,
to fight your way through.
More expensive war dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Without.
I mean, he could
block.
build. He could build it with wrestle tackle, right? To be like another piece that threatens the ball.
Because this team doesn't, have enough things that threaten the ball already.
Yeah.
Well, redundancy.
Yeah. I'd also quite like to see
that word answer though.
Yeah.
That word answer is lovely.
It makes him potentially a couple more skills down the road. Makes him a viable ball carrier though, because with the strength 2, most players are going to get 2 dice on him, but with strength 3, a lot of the players are going to have an assist.
That is true.
But Woodies just can carry on anyone anyway, right? There's no.
They can.
There's no need
but it's
for
nice
catcher
to have
be a ball carrier. Catchers, you just give them the ball and they score, and that's They don't need to be standing around necessarily.
I agree 100%. I'm just offering an alternative to what he might be thinking.
Yeah.
And who knows? Who knows what Andy's going to do?
The sneaky kid is obviously very questionable.
As for the memes,
it's terrible.
I think that I don't remember. I don't think I was around when he was doing that, but that's got to be for chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd argue the strength catcher is chat too, but
Possibly, yeah. You gotta play to your audience, right? You gotta give them their due.
Yeah.
Well, when you're low-end streamers like us, you do. When you're Andy, you don't really, because he's got enough already.
Right. Go play
He's got his viewership already.
That's why he's got his viewership.
Every opponent is a potential viewer, or whatever the phrase is.
I wonder if the multiple block on the tree was also for the benefit of chat.
I mean,
he loves it though. He absolutely loves it.
Multiple block on the tree is not bad. I mean, I don't like break tackle there, and that's probably the only other thing you're going to take.
The only reason is if the tree had block, then multiple block I think becomes more interesting. It's the fact that you're taking 2 hits with the loner, and neither is going to be 3 dice, right? And it doesn't have block. That's the scary bit.
Well, they could have been 3 dice if he'd have taken guard on a catcher and had the catcher in there.
It all comes around.
He had an absolutely stunning 1-turn attempt post. I think it was post perfect defense or something like that. That used multi-block to both get somebody in range to pick up the ball and at the same time get somebody in range to go, and it was really fun. And it failed on the some dice afterwards, but the actual pushes were marvelous and. Multi-block for the win. So
that sounds pretty good.
There's sometimes when it makes something exciting.
Yeah. I think I saw a video clip of that where I believe there was a rock hit his intended receiver or the guy who's ball picker upper, and he had to basically readjust on the fly and still managed to get someone in range and someone who could get back to the ball.
So multi-block gets you to do the fun creative plays, I suppose.
Can you multi-block the same person twice?
No, you can't.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's got to be a different person.
Different. Thing is, your strength 4, right? When you do it, you lose 2 strength, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. But basically there aren't many other choices, so you might as well take it. If it wasn't named after a viewer, you might recycle the tree at some point, or maybe if you hadn't lost loads of players and run out of money, maybe you would recycle it sooner.
Yeah, no, he has spiraling expenses.
Yeah,
that's not getting recycled. It's too late, too far gone.
almost at that point also.
So in terms of betting, though, 3 people have gone for Nibelung, Dreamland, Wolfbark, and 1 other. And Guido. The draw is Spydyr, Nibelung, and Danton. And ethelred, Giraffe, me, Galentio, and Broccoli have all gone for Andy winning that one. And I think we're all sticking with our bets, right?
It'd be somewhere teetering between Andy and Draw. Because I think the guard wall will make it hard, but probably Andy still. Because you can pull off some really fun things with that too.
If it wasn't for the 2 bulls, I would say Andy all day, but I think those 2 bulls are enough to...
going to be a problem, yeah.
Save Nibelung the chance for the draw.
Did Nibelung have a lot of cash in the treasury or not?
That's exactly what I was thinking. He's actually got
160.
160.
Right, so he can actually scum something, right?
Wait, but does that mean he's not giving away the 10 and they're actually...
No, so he's giving away the 10 and he could
giving away the 10.
He could throw away 10k and be getting 20k.
20k, yeah.
Or he could scum.
Likely,
it's
likely he's
fair enough.
It's likely he's gonna scum something. Probably it could be. He doesn't have a dirty player though, so maybe not a bribe. But he. Oh, he does. Sorry, you're right. Maybe a bribe. Maybe a bribe.
Bribe's very reasonable.
Yeah, against Wood Elves.
And he's 13 players, so yeah, I could definitely see him scumming the bribe.
Why does he keep a strength 2 Hobgoblin?
Line of scrimmage fodder.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
Throw him on the key player you don't want to have running around free.
I guess.
Throw him on the tree and just let the tree have fun with him.
I mean,
the tree's gonna have fun with him and a buddy.
Yeah.
Because it's multi-block.
Hopefully you don't give him. Hopefully you don't stand 2 players next to the tree.
Yeah. Ideally, you wouldn't.
That'd be silly.
I think with the frenzy, it's actually pretty easy to throw people onto the tree.
Yeah.
And without the stand firm, so like if people who play well with the trees tend to find a way to get people stuck on.
With enough guard, he has a horns.
I mean,
Sharp.
Yeah, the horns killer can definitely have a go at the tree at some point.
Yep. True.
Even if it's a 1 dice, it's still a good chance.
I mean, but you know what they call trees, right? So there is always the chance that horns killer just rolls pushes, or and then you've got a bunch of players all stuck around it.
Exactly. Could do a juggernaut.
Okay, next game is next game one that's been played. Yeah.
Yes.
Killstad back against Roughnecks Holiday, Gelbeck.
Yeah, the other human team, which is the Bashir human team, surprisingly for me, I guess we've talked about this before, right? The Vamps team can really blow hot and cold, right?
Yep.
I mean, also personally, I've said that Vamps are the biggest problem that they face is fast teams, and humans are a pretty fast team, right?
I would say the biggest problems they face is themselves.
Yeah, their own dice.
Well. And we all know Kielstad loves to roll dice.
I
wonder, actually.
He only rolled about 350 dice, so that was quite one for him.
Yeah. Wonder though how the scoring went. Whether the humans kind of took an early lead, or whether it was kind of tit for tat.
74 bloodlust rolls.
Jesus.
That's a lot of bloodlust.
Wait, does that mean no? Okay, fine.
No, 66 bloodlust rolls.
What?
66.
Yeah, he made 56 and he failed 10.
And he failed 10.
So that's an 18.
Oh, is that an 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like a 6 to me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or a 10, sorry.
Yeah. No worries. Anyway. And then the last game of the week hasn't been played. RTSD's horrible Nurgle.
Yep.
Well, less horrible than it used to be.
Yeah.
Against the Birmingham team. Oh, sorry.
Bam! Not Birmingham. maybe Birmingham. 2000 TV, Nurgle, 12 players, killy, horrible Nurgle. With a ball carrier with leader, which is nice.
Diving tackle in there.
Yeah.
And the
4
Nurgle gets
claw
inducements.
pieces. Oof.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I mean, he lost a warrior and a couple of pests, so it was definitely a
Still
lot
quite
more
healthy.
At some point, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he had 7 bombers, claw bombers. Yeah.
6 or 7 for sure.
Yeah.
And he was up
Gross.
around 2,500 at one point too.
Yeah.
Was the scariest team in all of CC, basically.
Yeah. Luckily, it's been slightly cold.
Against old ones, BAM or possibly Birmingham.
No,
It's Wham. It's Wham.
Yeah,
Wham.
It's a
Play
pun.
on
It's a
Wham,
pun on
yeah.
Wham. Yeah.
But maybe it's a triple level pun because he comes from Birmingham in America. Yeah.
Well, 'cause Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah. I'm sure there are more than just one Birmingham in
Yeah, with a thrower runner.
Cute.
I mean, it's a nice team, right?
It's a 12-person healthy team. That's already weird.
Yeah, but it's got to go against a team that's very, very capable of destroying it.
It's not.
How many tents?
It may not be very healthy.
It's
afterwards.
only tents on the beast.
Only beast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have to get stuck if they don't want to.
And not a huge amount of tackle. I mean, I think he's got tackle on 2 warriors, but no
Some
tackle
but
on no tackle on any pestigores. So the tackle pieces are kind of slow.
Yeah, we've talked before about the idea that the plus strength warrior maybe should have gone tents rather than claw. Claw's a bit of a greedy
I like
choice.
tents.
Yeah.
Yep.
After peeking at Crystal Hunter's Nurgle team for CCL, tents are all the rage these days. Have you seen it? It's just all tentacles.
Yeah, all tentacles. There was a team in Twitch Blood Bowl League, the Chaos team that was themed and went all tentacles.
All tentacles,
nice.
not just tentacles, also prehensile tail as well. So their team their team picture was just writhing tentacles everywhere.
It was crazy.
Only tentacles on the the warriors, the high strength players, or on everyone.
Everyone. The warriors.
No, I mean the Crystal Hunter team.
Oh, Crystal Hunter team.
Oh, Crystal Hunter, yeah.
Warriors,
I think just warriors, but he might have. I forget now. He might have strength up players. He has a strength up beast too. It's strength up block beast.
Yeah, he has a strength up block beast with stun firm. All his Nurgle warriors have tentacles, and he has a killer pestigore, 2 killer pestigores, and a ball carrying one. It's
that sounds like fun.
It's the nightmare of every elf.
Anyway, I was one of the.
It's funny. It's different. Yeah.
I was one of the bigger proponents or people that argued that he should have went with the tents instead of the claw on that warrior.
Yeah,
it would have been much better choice, I think.
Yeah,
he already had enough claw. He didn't need another one.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, this isn't RTSD's Nurgle team.
This is a different team, but isn't it fun? I don't often smile looking at a Nurgle team, but this is one of those cases.
Looks like a spaghetti party.
What's the record on it? Is this qualified?
Yeah,
it's
I think
top,
it is.
yeah.
It's top Nurgle.
It's really good. Yeah.
27.85.
And the pestigores are actually really good.
Yeah.
And it's in its center, so you know he's gonna roll dice like there's no tomorrow. And be aggressive.
Not much guard.
I mean, you gotta sacrifice something.
Oh, I didn't see the strength on the Beast of Nurgle either. Jesus.
Yep. It's keep everyone in place and kill everything.
Strength and block on the beast.
Block, stand firm. It's
Had to get to 51 SPP before he took stand firm, which is the choice I would normally make first on a beast.
Yeah, how horrible for him. He had to take block first.
And then strength. And guard.
And then strength, yeah. It was just no dodge, sadly. But
yet. There's still 13 SPP. 23 SPP. Anyway.
That's true, you can get there.
But yeah, I mean that if those tentacles were guard, instead of tentacles, it would be a better team. But I mean, it's a lot of fun.
It would be a better team in bash matchups. Would it be a worse team against some agi teams?
I don't see
That's
how an
true.
elf team beats this.
Yeah.
Not with Chunter like positioning them properly so that you can't just. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Although I mean, strength 4 tents, it's not that reliable, right?
I think it's.
But if you have to go through
50-50
tents anywhere you
chance.
go.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, it's gonna add up the number of tents rolls you have to make.
Uh-huh. It's more dice you're rolling.
And as soon as you fail one, you stop. So
Yeah.
And you can stop more than one person even. So.
What happens if 2 tens players are marking the same player? You have to choose one of them.
It's one
It's
roll.
just one
yeah.
of them.
Yeah. You don't choose either. It just picks the highest strength.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's
No, but it does. So it does automatically choose the higher strength one.
Yes.
I'd
It should anyway.
assume so.
Time
to build some strength 2 tentacles.
Well, especially with that team with the strength 6 beast, right? If it's like marking a player and as well as a strength 4 warrior, you definitely want the
Can
roll to be on the
confirm
strength
it
6.
comes from the highest strength tentacles player. From playing Imperium, I had an underworld team with tents on everyone. Yeah, and and it would take it from the strength 3 players rather than the strength 2.
So this is, I mean, I think that this is a tough game, right, for both coaches.
Yep.
I think.
Getting back on track quickly.
Yep.
Last game
for the betting. 4 people went with RTSD. That's Galentio, Gruff, Wolfbark, and Dreamland. 5 people went with the draw. Nibbinin, Guido, Danton, Corn Knight, Braculi. And only 2 went with the Dark Elves, and that was Ethelred and myself.
The Dark Elves are actually the higher TV team.
Yep.
Giving
and
away.
They are massively favored by the bot as well.
But that's that
Oh, I know that's not taking into account what RTSD's team is.
Yeah.
It has a lot of blodge, the Dark Elves, but I don't think it is enough to stop the rampage.
I mean, considering
he's got to get them down first, and it's not.
Not
guaranteed.
Nurgle don't have much tackle, right?
He's carrying
a
little bit of extra money as well. So I wonder if he'll just drop that or buy another player.
He's already given 110 to the Nurgle.
Yeah. I don't know.
But 30 of that is extra, and he's got the level up pending as well.
Yeah.
I think I'd buy Lyman. Just this team needs a little bit of. You'd give it block, I think.
Block.
Yeah, you had to go block.
Not wrestle.
If it's a double, you give him guard.
You already got 2 wrestlers. You don't need a third.
No. If it's a double, do you give him guard?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I would. I don't think he's gonna live very long if you give him guard.
If he wasn't going against RTSD the first week, I would say possibly yes. But the block will help him stay up and alive longer against RTSD, presumably. That's a tough one though. Yeah, I would go block preferably just because it helps him stay up longer.
Which team would you rather play? If you were running a team, which team would you rather be the coach of?
I think I'd rather be the Dark Elves.
Dark Elf, yeah.
Yeah, Dark Elves too.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never played a Nurgle team ever because I won't do it. I say I've never played a Chaos team. I've never played a Chaos team that was built as a typical Chaos. The only time I did Chaos was in TBBL, and it was an all goat build, and it was random mutations on my skill ups. So it was a really specific themed build. Because I just won't do a full claw palm team. It's just too boring. Too cookie cutter and boring for me.
At that point.
It's just click and that's it. Yeah. Click and hope you take them off, and if you do, you win the game. I'd rather have more of a challenge. That's why I tend to play more hybrid teams like Lizards and Kimry.
Although, I mean, Nurgle, they can be built, though, obviously, to be very kind of positional focused and not so much killy.
Yeah.
They can. Yeah.
No one ever
You
does.
can just put...
but-
You can put
And Chaos can too if they want to be.
Yeah. Normally, just with one good killer is all you need, really.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that it? We're done. Can I go to bed now?
That's
Yes.
it.
Same.
Yeah, it's even later for Glenn. Oh, no, it's not. It's the same time for Glenn.
No, it's the same
So
time.
typically, like we said earlier, Giraffe, typically we only do 2 tiers on each show, and that way it goes a little bit quicker.
Checks out.
Each show tends to be about an hour and a half.
Oh, we've been going for a while, haven't we? Nice.
2
Okay.
hours.
Well,
The most is 2 hours.
it's been an honor
It's
being able to participate a little bit.
We've definitely never chatted for 3 hours by mistake or anything.
Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Well,
So
thank
it'll be a
y'all.
fun season for sure.
Cool.
Yeah,
Definitely, yeah. Good luck to everyone.
Yep, absolutely.
I really needed the luck, so thank you.
When do let's see here. Hold on real quick.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, when do me and Giraffe actually play?
Yeah, I was wondering the
when
same
do we
thing.
play? I haven't actually got to take down that Yeti, or that Yeti's gonna take down my what are they called? Mummies. That's what I have. I have mummies. My mummies. They're shit mummies. I will be happy if somebody helps me cycle them, honestly.
Okay, so Giraffe, you and me on day 4, and I am at home.
Yay!
I play you the week after Corn Night.
Danton's after.
It's week
Okay,
5.
so both the claw teams, one after the other. Awesome.
Nice. The week 5 I play Corn Knight, so the week after he plays Giraffe, and then week 6 I play Giraffe.
Oh, great. Well,
which would be
I look
the
forward
week.
to. I look forward to you both helping me cycle my mummies. That'll be great.
It doesn't kill things. It's fine.
What, they're down from guard, both of them, right?
Yes, but none of them have blocks, despite ample attempts to try to get some on them. So,
but it's worth keeping them, I think, to 31 to see if they get blocked there.
That's
and
the
then,
time. Yeah.
If they don't, then just cycle them.
Only thing you have to worry about when you play my team is Sundrop.
I keep hearing that's the hidden mighty blow claw over there. Is that what it is? Or just?
Well, it's not that. It's just him.
Have you not seen Sundrop?
Which one is Sundrop?
Block, strength 6, break, tackle, dodge, tackle.
Lodge, strength 6, break, tackle.
Source.
It basically can go anywhere on a 2. But it did get move busted not that long ago.
Yeah, it did.
I have seen it, yes. Yes, no, I actually, the first time I looked through all the teams, I'm now remembering I took some time just staring at that loveliness. Yeah, I'm gonna kill that.
You can't cage against him because he'll go into any cage on a 2+.
Oh, I'll kill it. It's okay.
It is niggled, Giraffe, so just make sure that you step on it.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm just gonna kill it. It's okay.
Sooner or later he'll die. Sooner or later he'll die, and I'll probably cry a few tears when he does. But I'm still holding
here's the
out.
Question: Would you trade giving me a couple of touchdowns and I will not go after him?
Hey.
Like, how are we gonna have this happen? Right? So,
there's a tier admin here. Okay.
So typically I don't go above and beyond trying to protect him. I will go aggressive with him and do stuff with him to try to win.
Oh, excellent. Okay, then I shall kill him.
So
it'll be
I don't typically now. 2 seasons ago, when I was 7-0 going into week 8 in tier 1, then I did go over protecting because I already had everything locked up for first place and there was no reason to go aggressive. Typically, I will go for and you can ask. You can ask Dan, and there's times I'll leave him hanging out there.
Oh, you played me in week 9.
Yep, and I did let you get a hit on him too. Yeah.
And I was gonna say, even though you played slightly cautiously with him, I managed to hit him and foul him, I think.
Yep.
Or no, actually piled onto him, I think, and took him off the pitch.
I have
What was it?
in previous seasons I have clawed and triple fouled in to no effect, which was pretty irritating.
So
wait,
the
you say
cool.
it's game 6, so we'll see. I guess you might know whether you are in the running or not at that point.
Oh yeah,
Like-
but the cool thing about him that I have made sure everybody knows now, but a lot of people didn't know before, is the fact that he's only missed like 3 games, I think, in his entire career, and this team's played 240 matches.
Well,
Something
we'll do our
like
best.
that.
We'll do our best.
So he's. We talk about Brian the Fecker living a charmed life. Sundrop has definitely lived a charmed life, even though he has taken a couple of injuries.
Yeah, a lot of people in OCC have had shots at trying to kill him and haven't managed it yet.
I imagine so. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see.
I still hold out hope that he'll ride off into the glory and sunset after Blood Bowl 2 retires and we move to.
He has an average of 1.5 injury per game.
Gross. So I have Andy Davo the Palmer, right? And the Blodge Palm, whatever, white. And he's either completely and entirely useless or he removes half a team. So depending on which day what he's feeling like that day.
That's what most Palmers tend to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Sure, that's fair. That is how it generally goes. So, if we give him enough of a pep talk, I think we can try to
Guys, I'm going.
make sure he has a good day.
Work is tomorrow, so.
Yep. No worries. I've got to go.
Thank you for having me around, everyone. It was really fun.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. Yeah.
Come anytime that you want.
I'll try to.
So this is
Sneak
not
up.
such a sausage coach fest.
And I'm gonna raid J-Leave, I think.
All right, everybody. Thanks for the cast. Have a good rest of your evening or late night if you're overseas. And we'll see everybody next week.
Cheers.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. And thanks, Weblin.
Night.
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 All right, Corn Night. We'll talk to you later. Have a good
Night.
one.
Good night. Yeah, I've just sent it.
I'll sign off as well. Evening.